What is up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to the Daily HiFi podcast. My name is Chana, and as with me as always, we have Mike and Joe. What is up, fellas? What's going on?
What's up?
going on, man? How you guys been this week?
Just us today. Oh man, doing good. Doing good.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. It's gonna
Definitely,
be a
man.
fun one.
It's just us tonight, fellas. Past several weeks, we've been, scheduling guests, man. But today, we get to get kind of a little crazy, I think, because we're kind of reserved when we have guests, right?
Yeah,
Kinda
and
hold
by
back a
when
little
you
bit.
say just us, it doesn't
Yeah.
mean like, oh, it's just us.
Yeah,
It means
exactly.
hey,
Like,
just
It's,
us,
o-
guys.
it's just us. It's family time, man. Let's get a little crazy. And speaking of family, man, we got lots of family in the chat over here, even as early as an hour ago. I think that's one thing that's really cool about our group is that they're developing relationships and they're looking forward to connecting and hanging out, talking audio and all things about that. So we got, of course, SI Services dropping in at 6:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
From South Africa. no
Man,
less.
I'm telling you, dude.
International.
Yeah, glad to have you here. King is in the house as always. We've got, scroll down here, Optimus Vader. Speaking of Optimus Vader, I think there was something kind of unique that happened just a couple of days ago.
Optimus is typically he's our show sponsor, actually, right?
He seems like he's one of them.
Optimus, happy birthday, man. I know you had a birthday a couple days ago. Fantastic, brother. Hit the big 4-0.
Looking
Love it,
good,
man.
man. You don't look 40, that's for sure.
Yeah, dude. Fantastic, man. Happy birthday to you. Snoots Aloots is in the house. Who else we got over here? Juan, David, Martin. Good to have you tonight. Regular guy audio is always here. Mr. C. What's going on, guys? Y'all ready for a great night? We even got some questions already off the bat. So we'll be hitting those just shortly. Joe, I think you got something you want to share.
Yeah, so our show sponsor, thank you to Marantz. So I got a quick ad here for you guys.
Marantz.
If you know me, you know I'm a huge fan of Marantz. I bought my first Marantz over 20 years ago, the 2220B. When I brought it home, it felt like nothing I've ever owned. The look, the feel of the knobs, the glow of the lights, and of course the sound. Marantz is carrying on with that tradition with their new Model 30 amplifier. The attention to detail is unmistakable. The symmetry in the industrial design, the use of metal, the fact that they paid attention to the weight of the dials, the glow of the light is specific to this series. They promise a sound that is everything you expect from a Marantz product. Heritage is not about holding on to old ways. It's about upholding values.
All
Oh,
right.
yeah,
How do you like
man.
that? How do you like that?
I love it, man.
Right?
I love it.
Paul hit me up like, hey man, I like that. It's about upholding values. It just came up. He's like, where were you in our marketing meetings
Exactly, man.
3 months ago?
That's dope, man. Love it.
Yeah. Very cool.
Cool
What do you guys
deal.
think about that thing though? I've never actually tested one. I've never had one in my hands, never had one in front of me.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think?
I think it looks great. Supposedly Marantz is their thought is we're wanting to kind of move in a little bit different direction from Denon. Over the years, a lot of guys kind of associate Denon and Marantz kind of like, kind of head to head, but then maybe Marantz is just a little bit above them. And so they're trying to kind of take a different approach with their marketing and really just kind of go upstream with the Marantz. Denon's got some nice headphones there, Chana. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what Marantz has, in the coming months. I think we're going to see some really exciting stuff from them. But I imagine the price is going to go up as well. One thing I am curious about is like, how will that new marketing affect their home theater gear, in the AVRs and the pre-pros processors and such. So I guess time will tell.
It's like they're separate. They like to keep it separate,
Yeah, and so they just, it's kind of like maybe Denon is kind of like the younger brother that's under his bigger brother's shadow kind of thing, so that he just wants his own identity. So they're just going to make some more separation there. So I think it's a good move on Marantz's part. And so we'll see.
Yeah.
And of course,
about the LEDs on that thing. And so we were in a meeting with them, and they said that actually those are RGB lights, and you could change it to whatever they could change it to whatever they want, right? And so they just chose that particular champagne looking color to kind of match.
No.
That's interesting. I remember thinking like, oh, this is This is a Class D. Like, so
Yeah, the
typically
thing's tiny.
that's a bad
Yeah.
word for a lot of old school audiophiles, right? To me, it's not. I wanted to talk about that a little bit. What do you guys think about Class D?
Over the years, it's just definitely gotten better, you know. So I think we're going to see more and more companies go to that Class D. I don't see. I know when I reviewed it was a Parasound Class D. It was the first Class D that I had ever reviewed, and it was really designed for a kind of like a custom integration kind of thing.
Look at how long
But-
this cable is. Look at
I
this.
was, I was
This is
super
awesome.
impressed with it.
What are you doing?
That's from the headphones.
This is from the headphones. Look at this. It's
No,
awesome. A lot of the times it's just not good.
little
Not that
3
long.
foot thing.
Yeah. So yeah, you're saying that about Class D.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, I think we're going to see more and more of that as Class D technology has advanced over the years. You know, it offers definitely some benefits as far as the efficiency. You know, runs a whole lot less. You know, generates a lot less heat than your typical A or AB. So yeah, absolutely, Kanga. Class D has come a long way. So
Yeah, my thinking is that the complaint is always that AVRs, right? Because they have so much going on there. They have the processor, they have HDMI, they have the all this
Yep.
stuff going on that they don't have enough space for amplification, right?
correct.
But if you think about it, Class D doesn't need that much amplification because it doesn't emit so much heat. You don't need all kinds of heat sinks and stuff like that. So I think initially it was like a low cost thing, so it kind of has that stuck to it.
Yeah.
But at one point, imported Japanese cars were not good. Anything from Japan was not good. It was considered bad. But of course, that has changed. Our
Sure.
viewpoint on that has changed.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's reliable. Or I think also what it is typically there's a downside to everything. There's always a pro and con, right? So if this thing is more efficient, has more power, emits less heat, what's the downside? What are you going to sacrifice? Right?
You can't heat your room with Class
Yeah.
D. That's the
You can't-
downside.
Man, it's got a point there. It's got a point there.
Argument to that though is what about our phones, right? Our phones are super powerful, right? You got
Yep.
this little phone here that's more powerful than like computers that like took us to space.
Sure.
What's the downside? So it's more efficient, more powerful. Where's the downside? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I don't know that technology always has to have a downside. So as Class D advances, I think it can just get better.
Yeah.
More efficient all around.
And I think as that stigma kind of gets lowered and more people realize, oh, these aren't garbage, then that's going to allow manufacturers to want to pursue that even more to say, okay, where can we take Class D? How much further how much more power can we get in an AVR and still provide clean, just powerful sound? So, but I think it'll be a good thing.
Yeah. Thanks, Optimus. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it.
Nice.
You guys help keep us going here.
Yeah.
Not
And,
not just the super chats, but also just you guys being here. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. Even Martin hooked us up with a super sticker early on, even before the show started. So appreciate that, Martin.
Yeah. Now, so we've been talking a little bit about Class D, did our sponsor, but I really want to ask you guys something very, very important here, which is, out of us. So this for the folks in the comments. Out of us three, who has the most punchable face?
Oh man.
What do you guys think?
All right, drop it in the chat. Who's got the most punchable face?
I think they're
I
probably
don't
going to
even
say.
know what that. I don't even know what that means, but
I think they're
it's
going to
funny
probably
as
say
heck.
Michael,
It's funny.
but
as heck.
I would argue.
I almost spit this water at my
argue
camera.
that you're just too nice.
Yeah.
Like you can't punch that guy.
You can swing. It's all right. I'll let you.
He's just too nice though. Like I wouldn't want to. He's just too nice. Maybe me. It might just be me because I'm kind of. He's a joke.
I can
know
see
we're gonna
Joe.
be mean.
I can
None
see
of you
Joe
guys
as like
knew.
I can
It
see Joe
probably
as a
is me, huh?
boxer, because
Oh,
Joe used to
man.
box, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah,
bit.
a little bit.
So I could see like, you punch Joe, he's gonna punch back. So
Yeah, yeah.
Watch out.
I say, hey, look, I'm the type of guy, they always say if you get hit, turn the other cheek.
Mm.
The only time I'm turning the other cheek is when I'm turning around to backhand you. Yeah, so
goodness.
yeah, I'm thinking it's probably me. What do you think, Chana? Is it me?
I
Am I the
guess. I
most
don't know.
punchable?
I wouldn't want
I
to
don't know,
punch you.
Chana. You're not very punchable. You're like a nice dude.
Yeah, I
know?
guess. I have
You just
my
you just
moments.
go
I
with
can
the flow,
be a
you don't
complete.
care.
I can be a complete a-hole if I wanted to. You know.
Anyway, funny little conversation we had in the Discord. I just joined this one group about home theater. I forgot. I don't know what the name is. I don't even know how to use this thing.
Is that the
Still learning how to home theater enthusiast on Discord.
Oh, okay.
So
I got you.
just learning how to use it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's live
And I
chat.
asked who they thought was the most punchable YouTube guy. So you're gonna have to check in there. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna comment, but go in there and see what other people say. It's a funny conversation.
Oh goodness. I was looking for the here we go. Here's a question from Juan. He says, what do you guys would you guys consider talking about how to maintain AVRs in an optimal or like in optimal condition? Like how do you keep your AVR, in the best condition that it can? Maybe for quality sound or even longevity. So
Good question.
I've got something that I could recommend, but what do you guys think?
I mean, mine's just there. It doesn't, I don't really do much with it. You know what? One thing, since my whole TV stand and entertainment stand is class, I like to get in there. I like to say once every month, but that's just really not the case. I usually, when I need to film something that includes that whole situation, I remove everything and clean off all the glass.
Gotcha.
And usually in that situation, I wipe down all the components.
Yeah.
Top and bottom of them.
So it's interesting. You mentioned cleaning, top and bottom of them, but Optimus Vader came over to my house and I had a receiver that he wanted to pick up. And so we connected and had some, demos in my theater room and 2 channels set up. And so he took it home. He sends me a picture. He's like, dude, this is crazy. So he opens it up and it's an old receiver. I wasn't the original owner. And he opens it up and it was like just totally dusty, man, just crazy. So we cleaned the outside, but this dude cleans the inside.
Oh yeah.
And he showed me a picture afterward, man, it looked really sharp. So honestly, I think that would be probably a good thing to do every once in a while is to dust the inside, get all that junk cleaned out. My recommendation too, we were talking earlier about class A, class AB, they get really hot. And so, if you can pick up some kind of fan, whether it's a computer fan to put on the top of it, Aircom from AC Infinity makes some really cool fans.
Yeah, the 8T, the 9T, the 10T. Yep.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. You can either have them mounted to where they blow air up, blow air out of the back exhaust or the front exhaust, just depending on how you got it set up. In my case, I don't have any room above the receiver or the processor, and I don't have, so when I put that fan on top of there, it wouldn't do any good to blow the air up because it's going to be hitting the top of my cabinet. So in that case, I chose to blow air out the back. And so there's just a bunch of different options there. So
did you hear that, guys? Mike likes to blow it out the back.
Hey. You definitely got the most punchable face, John. Absolutely.
He has the most punchable comments. Somebody asked for Fresh Hater Jay. You know what I mean?
Oh, there you
Fresh
go.
Hater Jay, dude. He stole the show.
He stole the show. So I would answer, to maintain your AVR. Clean it out. But how about let me call this guy up. Yeah, no, just kidding. Vacuum, you know what I mean? Like dust particles in your room is probably
buster, right?
Just vacuum your room. Like don't be dirty.
Clean. Yeah, keep it
right?
clean.
Because like dust is probably your skin shedding is probably what that is. You nasty fools. But
some of you guys
I got a dog. We got dog hair all the time. So
another thing
we have to vacuum
I noticed
quite a bit.
Did you notice that the newer AVRs have fans on the bottom, like the Den and stuff? Like, yeah, like I looked at the bottom, they actually have fans under there.
Gotcha. On what, the 4700?
I think my 4500 has a fan under there.
Really?
Yeah. So anytime there's a fan, you don't want dust on there because you need it spinning properly. Yeah. That was one of the things we used to fix a lot when we were working on computers, is like fans just getting not spinning
caked on there.
So but I would say also get yourself like some kind of battery backup if you're in a place that has like dips and stuff, because I think that kind of stuff messes up all kinds of electronics, computers, whatever it is, and it's not expensive. Just get yourself a little battery backup.
Yeah,
Probably has to be a little bit powerful depending on the power of the amp too. But yeah, that's it. That's my recommendation. Chana,
Yo,
Chana.
what's up?
Saw
What
you
are we
got a
doing?
new DJ setup. What's that? What's that all about?
Oh yeah, it's
Tell me about it.
fantastic. It is I've been DJing for what 19 years now, and this is the first time I've had a flagship digital like DJ deck thing. They don't. It's not a CDJ because there's no CD, so they call them media players. So yeah,
Top of the line.
yeah, it's Denon DJ's top of the line.
And you have Denon headphones too.
Yeah, well, these aren't DJ ones; these are HiFi ones. You know, they sent them to me to review. I did an impromptu unboxing at the HiFi Summit in the super secret VIP room, and they were like, "Whoa, that's cool." I'm like, "Yeah, this looks awesome." And you know, I was trying out these new IEMs that I got for DJing, but I noticed something, and I realized that I want something for comfort right now, and then when I eat something with those IEMs, it's like all that weirdness going on. So I was just like, hey, I got these other headphones. Let me try this. And I was actually very impressed by the length of this cable. Normally, you know, this is my music studio, so I have all kinds of cable extensions. So I have a 25-foot, you know, quarter-inch to quarter-inch stereo cable, which I usually plug in the focals, because the focals have a short cable. And the focals and these cost around the same price, like $1,500. And I'm like, man, for $1,500, it's an awfully short cable. So
yeah.
And of course, there's, you know, a whole line of cables, you know, and people like change them out, and that's what they like to do. But I bypassed the extension cable, and this is plugged directly in because this thing's ginormous. And it's awesome. So
I like it.
I like that. They're comfy.
Yeah.
You know, so far I've just heard your voices. I can't really comment on anything else unless I start playing music and we get hit by copyright. So that's not.
Well, you heard me in person. Do I sound like normal? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you sound like normal, of course, but I can't get like a, you know, I can't tell like if there's any, you know, definition in the bass or, you know, treble, you know, high-end treble extension.
Right.
You know when you will be able to tell those when you do your DJ spots on Saturdays.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I wanted to get. I got this new mic which wraps around my head, which is way better than the other one I have. But that was a problem. Like with big headphones, now this thing gets smashed into my head. So that's why I got the IEMs. I'm gonna use the IEMs for DJing, but you know, for this, I don't know. It was just a little much. But you know, it's all a, you know, it's trial and error kind of thing. So we'll see what's up. Anyway,
I'll try to tune in on Saturday. Sometimes I can, and sometimes I'm not. I'm catching up on sleep on Saturday. So
yeah.
You know,
well,
I'll try to tune in though. Always good when I can.
Well, I've been actually DJing like exclusively on Twitch midweek just to like grow my Twitch numbers and stuff. Got like 3 subscribers now, which is pretty cool.
Nice, man.
So
your channel's tripled since the last time I knew.
Yeah, right. So it's pretty fun, you know.
Cool.
And it's you know, I watch some of these DJs on my graveyard shift, like this one girl in Bali, and she starts like an hour into my shift and she goes for like 6 hours straight. Like, damn. That's a lot of music, dude. Yeah. That's a lot of music, you know. That's and she just sitting up there dancing. She always got her head in a ponytail, so her hair's all whipping around and shit. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. And then I go back to my friend in Vegas, and she's doing it. And sometimes I'll have 3 windows open. And I'll just mute one, because like if you're in the chat and you're not necessarily chatting, since you're just watching the stream, you get a certain amount of points, and then you can redeem points for it's like this little game. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That crossfader. Yeah, I'll try to tune in, check you out on your new setup. You know, you're always upgrading. Michael, you did some upgrades too recently, right? So what's up with the? Well, you have a lot of upgrades.
You're shopping for this weekend, bro.
But he did a crossover upgrade, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right, I'm listening to both at the same time.
Oh, yeah. You got a
crossover upgrade for your. I wanted an update.
An upgrade for what?
Didn't you have I saw a picture of some crossovers like?
Oh yeah.
You install those or what?
Yeah. So basically, so I had a crossover that was just measuring different than the other two. And so I reached out to Clips. They were even on our podcast, and they mentioned this company called JEM Performance Audio. So they're the only authorized crossover repair center for Clips. So if you got some old La Scalas or Heresies or Cornwalls, K-horns, things like that, literally Jim will ship you the parts. So I reached out to him, and I figured instead of just buying the one to fix the one crossover, might as well get all three. And so I bought 9 capacitors and just went over to a friend of mine's house. He knows how to solder. So we soldered on the new new capacitors. They sound great, man. I don't think they sounded like bad before, but it was just bothering me. If you measure it and it doesn't measure like the other two, then there's something clearly wrong. And since mine are, Kanga, you asked me that question the other day. Literally, I have, on my computer, I've got the curves. Basically, one had a dip in like the high frequency. And then with the new capacitors, they really didn't change that much. I actually kind of thought that maybe there'd be more difference in the frequency response. But, apparently there's not much difference in that. So, but it definitely did fix that hump or dip, I guess. Not really a hump, but.
So you can hear a difference or no? Not so much.
Like I said, maybe a little bit, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, these things are ridiculous, Yeah. So, but just for me, I'm glad that I did it, because that knowing that I was missing out intentionally on some of those higher frequencies because the capacitors were going bad, would have drove me up the wall. And maybe that's the OCD in me.
Yeah, of course. Come on. You can't be rocking parts that are broken.
Yep, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Got a question here from No Name to Fame. So it says Onkyo and Pioneer will be getting direct soon. Have y'all heard that?
No, is that
Direct?
right?
What?
I don't know.
Onkyo and Pioneer?
And
Really?
Onkyo and Pioneer getting direct soon. Will Denon and Marantz? I don't see Denon and Marantz doing that anytime soon. And if that is the case with Onkyo and Pioneer, definitely drop a. Well, I don't know if you guys can drop a link. So
I would love that.
Yeah, let us know where you found that information. I'd love to check that out. So if they do, I think it'd be great. Dirac offers a lot of flexibility when it comes to room correction. I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing there. So, but that'd be cool. But I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, man. Let's see here. Oh, I got some new stuff in the mail.
Oh yeah, what do you get?
To review. I don't know what you guys have, but again, like usual, I'm surrounded with boxes. I just recently did the ELAC review, and then I got some triangle powered speakers. Just got some stuff from Monolith finally.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, I saw the picture. Yeah.
I got this Monolith 10 subwoofer, which is not a big subwoofer.
Yeah,
it's not an 18, but the box is already big. You know what I mean? So
nice.
I opened the door. I'm like, whoa, good morning.
Was that the ported
one? Yeah.
Nice.
The box is pretty big.
Yeah.
So
I was very impressed with the 12. It was really cool.
The 12.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see what this can do.
Yeah.
They make good stuff from what I've seen so far. And then they sent me an HDMI cable because my other one's been acting up a little bit. I have an optical one, and I don't know if it got snagged on something. But Hobie over there took care of me. So thank you to Monoprice Monolith. I'm excited to check this stuff out. That's what I got going on.
Yeah.
I got they have some powered speakers, right? So I'm trying those out at my desk right now. Monolith, what else? Oh, the X4500 and X4700H. I have both of those. I don't know what kind of difference I'm going to be able to tell on that preamp, dedicated preamp mode. I'm kind of worried because I have to undo everything, and if I hook it back up and do calibration, do all the stuff, and it's like sound the same.
But it may measure differently. But I'm curious. Can you hear it?
Where did you see that they measure different?
I'm just saying they may measure different.
Okay, because I don't have.
I don't have the capability
to measure.
Yeah, me either.
But who does have some tools? Chana, and you just got some calibration tools, didn't it?
I did,
Chana,
man.
What's up? What's up with the calibrations?
I haven't calibrated anything just recently. I did get that TCL TV in the R635, the budget one everyone's talking about. And finally, Hisense sent me the H9G, which is like a direct competitor. They're about what, $50 different? One 700 or is one? All right, I don't know. Hisense H9G 55-inch. Let's see. That is $649. Best Buy. There you are. So let's bring this up on screen so everybody can see what's happening. Boom. Oh, it's on sale, $649. So it's $700 normally, and the TCL is $649 normally. So they're $50 apart. So people have been asking, to compare the two. So what I always do is I know this is something like from the old plasma days. Like you run your TV for like 100 hours before you get it calibrated. Funny thing is that I literally opened up the Samsung Q90T, calibrated it the very next day. A week, watched the TV. A week later, went and took measurements, all off. They're all off.
Yeah, that changes.
Like, okay. Yeah. So
that might be why.
Yeah. So I figured
same thing with projectors.
Same time of day, same amount of light coming in, all that.
Yeah, it was just on the living room table, and that's where I, it was like 3 or 4 in the afternoon when I first calibrated it. And then a week later I just took measurements just to recalibrate it, just to like check it out, and all of a sudden it's all off. I was just like, man, that's so messed up. So
yeah.
Excuse me. So
if it settles after a while, right? If it settles, like if you were to do it again, is it kind of like, it didn't change very much?
I would be surprised, like 6 months into it, if I just check the calibration, and to see if it's on point. Now,
sure.
I had my E9 calibrated at Value Electronics, so they ran it for 200 hours. And when I just took the measurement, like it was spot on. And I've had that thing for like 9 months. 9 months. So I don't know. It's one of those things. You just kind of have to just do it and figure it out, I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Michael, you just got some calibration done, didn't you?
I did. I had a friend of mine. So when I flew up to see JTR and to film their headquarters, and while I was up there, Jeff introduced me to 2 of his customers that had JTR systems. And in one of those systems, I met a guy by the name of Nick. And Nick is kind of like this programmer. I call him a programming genius, dude. He loves getting into like technical stuff. And he contacted me just recently and he said, "Hey, Michael," he said, "I'm actually going to be near you. I'm going to be in Tampa, visiting with my family. And I just realized like you're like 30 minutes from me." And he said, "Did you ever get your projector, your NX7 calibrated?" I said, "No." And he said, "Man," he said, "I've got all the tools." He said, "If you want me to swing by," he said, "we can hang out and we'll set it up." And so he brought all his equipment down. He had a Spider X Pro, which honestly with the JVC, man, that thing makes it super easy. Like you hook it up on a tripod, connect it to the laptop, download the JVC AutoCal software, and it like runs some test patterns for, I think it's probably took like total of maybe 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes. Maybe not even that long, but it just throws some patterns up there. It takes some measurements. And then inside the JVC software, I guess maybe even in the firmware, it makes all the adjustments like to gamma and to all that stuff. So even when you go in and look at your numbers for, the settings, contrast and all that, it stays the same. Yeah, absolutely. The reds were definitely way off. Now, when I say way off, I don't have anything to compare it to as far as, what is supposed to be normal. All I know is the dots where they were supposed to be were way off to the side. And then after calibration, like it was dead on the money, every color. So it did a really, really good job of putting it where it was supposed to be. And the biggest difference I noticed was just in skin tones. Honestly, kind of like here, like my skin tone here is kind of white just because of this cheap light over here. But Joe's got this nice glow. Chana's got this nice, skin tone colors. It was literally just like that. And so I've showed some before and after pictures. We had to use some different software to be able to switch. We couldn't do it within the AutoCal software to be able to show the before and after, but he ran some I forget. You can kind of see the screenshots in the video. It's like 4 letters, but he knows a lot about that stuff. So man, that was a cool process, definitely. And so it looks a lot better. Skin tones look amazing. There's definitely more contrast now. So definitely excited about that. So I can see the value of calibrating. But what's cool is, if you learn to calibrate on your own, you don't have to pay somebody to come, once every 400 hours on your bulb, or, once every 6 months or a year on your TV or whatever. You buy the software, you buy the calibrator, you learn it, and then you do it as often as you want to. So it's pretty cool.
You have a whole video on that, right, on your channel?
I do. Yeah, I sure do.
Yeah. So somebody said here that they're here AV forums threads 3 days ago, September 16th, agreement direct with Onkyo. That
Well,
would
you know
be
what?
interesting.
Very cool, man.
That would definitely like up their stock with me, because I did not like Acu EQ at all.
Yeah.
Honestly, I thought it was kind of doo-doo. So
yeah. What's funny is there was somebody over here in the chat that here we go.
Was it no? He said
Totally
that.
totally different opinion, and that's cool. So
I didn't have the advanced.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe that's it.
Maybe that's
I had
it.
the Acu EQ one time. I was like, I didn't care for it.
How about macaque? I don't know how you even say that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Macaque.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's kind of interesting because Onkyo, used to be like right out in front. I mean, I think even more so than like Marantz, and just because it was so affordable, it was definitely, you got a lot of bang for your buck with Onkyo.
Mhm.
But over the years, they just kind of fell off the map. And I think when they started having HDMI issues, that really just put them in the hole. And, somebody was even mentioning in the chat that, they possibly were kind of on the verge of bankruptcy. And then, apparently AudioVox, which owns multiple companies like Klipsch and Yamo. And so they've actually bought them out. So hopefully they'll be able to revive them.
By Vox now, right?
What's that?
They just go by Vox now with the 2 X's?
Yeah, Vox. So, but yeah, so if that happens, I mean, if Onkyo and Pioneer get Dirac, it may kind of resuscitate them and kind of get them back into the game. So,
tell you, I wouldn't mind checking it out at that point.
100%.
I'd definitely check it out. Yeah, I mean, the only problem is getting somebody from there to send it.
I've yet to get somebody from Onkyo. They were going to send me a 2-channel receiver like a long, I mean, we're talking 2.5 years ago when I first started. Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, we can't send you anything nice. We'll send you our budget entry, smallest 2-channel," because they didn't know who I was, I had like, had 2,000 subscribers, and they're like,
the guy at Pioneer.
Who's this dude?
Yes. And
yeah, he was cool, right?
Yeah.
Actually, I do have a contact over there. I'm sure we could just
hit him up,
get in contact with somebody, or you could just say, "Hey, Jill, can you connect me with the?" Maybe that'll be the method to get a hold of them in the future.
Dude, what is up with this, man? Look at Mac. When I said I'm kind of white, and then I'm pointing to you guys, I'm like, "Yeah, Joe, he's got like this nice complexion." That's awesome.
You look kind of like pinkish to me.
Yeah.
Well, see,
there are some blown out parts there.
Yeah.
In calibration, it's funny they were using the auto cal, because the auto calibration just never worked for me. Yeah. I don't know what the problem was, but majority of the time, like the boxes in the extreme corners is just a fully saturated red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, yellow. But when we get into the color management system, you're supposed to do the 20% sweeps. So and that's where all the like skin tones are, right? At 20-25% red, in between red and magenta. So like, it's very important. Like, and it's funny when I go in and I make some changes, I can have all of those swing out to the right of the graph, swing left. And so it's almost like a game. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, is this what this does? Oh, okay. So I need to now change this. Let's see if I can get it to swing left. Like I make a change and it swings right. I'm like, oh, let's go the other way. Oh, look, that worked. I get them all in a row. So it's like, for me, it was like a game, but it definitely takes like a while.
Yeah, sure.
Optimus asked if I can, remotely calibrate his TV. The answer is no. However, if I have the same model TV as you, I think a white balance joke. So you know, if we have the same TV and I do a calibration on it, chances are if I give you the actual, not picture settings, but the actual calibration settings, that might actually get them pretty close. Because there is a difference between the two, picture settings and calibration settings. Yeah.
Hey, can I give a quick shout out for HiFi Summit?
Do it,
Because
man.
it's coming up.
It's
30
happening.
days. 30 days away. I got some, you know, it's ramping up. You're going to start seeing a lot more posts from us regarding giveaways, show sponsors. So we just got SVS as a gold sponsor. We have OSD just said, hey, I want to be silver sponsor today. You know, so, you know, or gold sponsors. I'm not sure. I just saw the email pop in right now. But, you know, we got them, Parasound. Who am I missing here? SVS. I already said. Yeah, so
Good
should
stuff,
be
man.
pretty
your
exciting.
ticket.
Who do we got on there? SVS. Oh, Cherry Amp. How could I forget?
Yep.
Tommy. Yeah. So
And Tommy's
it's
gonna be
gonna start
starting his
wrapping up.
game too, so that's good.
It's one of those things really, like, you know, I think people are wondering like, hey, what's going on? It's last minute. All the stuff is always last minute. It's kind of like a party, right? People want to go to a party where other people are going. So I think it's just gonna be the last week is gonna get crazy. So I wanted to shout that out. Rick says, how can we share the HiFi Summit with other forums? Just, you know, just let them know that you have fun.
URL.
And tell the truth. Say if you hated it, then say you hated it. If you liked it, then say you know, just say what your experience was would be great. Who's the platinum sponsor? You know what? I'm waiting for confirmation on that. Let me just say that.
Probably gonna be
Optimus Vader.
Waiting for yeah. So I do have one, but I'm not sure who it's gonna be. It's gonna be one of two companies, I believe, but we'll see. What else we got here? Have you? Yeah. So Cherry, by the way, I want to give a shout out that he has a Kickstarter. I think today might be the last day for it.
Yeah.
So just Google Cherry Amp. You'll be able to see. I'm sure he's linking out to his Kickstarter. He has a new DAC out.
The DAC 3, I believe.
DAC 3.
We had the DAC 2 for a while.
All right.
So
DAC.
So what? We have any questions in here that we're missing?
Yeah. Here's one.
Oh yeah, ELAC. Sorry, ELAC, but I'm waiting for confirmation. They said
not
yes.
Necessarily be a question, but
yes. We need. What do we say? Yeah, this one. Yeah, we do need monolith. Yeah. Somebody give a call to Hobie.
Man, I'm hitting him up. Man, I talked to you know, basically their marketing guy or lady actually, and so she's just avoiding me. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
so,
I wish I knew somebody at Paradigm too. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
What we do?
Unfortunately, I don't.
If we only
who has any
cloud
over there.
Dang, dude, just threw him under the bus.
Oh, sorry.
That was Hater J that said that.
Hater J.
That's awesome. SI Services says, I think that the web UI for AV products is a game clincher, maybe changer. I don't know. Clincher. I'm thinking like butt clincher. You know.
Game over.
Oh, okay. I never heard of it. Said a game clincher. So even Marantz has one, but I had to ask Phil Jones. So apparently, maybe Marantz is working on that. I had my first experience with that I'm going to be sharing probably later on this week with the monolith HTP1. So it's very, very cool. I see a ton of potential in that, but in a way, there's kind of like some, I don't want to say limitations, but not having that on-screen display is kind of the one thing that was like, man, I just want to at least see the volume. At least show me the volume. You know? So that's kind of weird because you're turning up the volume and you don't know what level it's at.
Maybe on their next processor.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give them that feedback. I think that would definitely be something of value. You don't have to put everything up there, but just show me the volume. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So this thing's moving too fast for me.
I know. Here, I'm gonna put something up on the screen that kind of tails off what Michael said. You know, maybe in the next one, they're going to. So planned obsolescence. This is something that I've been talking about a lot. This happens with electronics all the time, and right now, it's going on. Meaning, if you buy a Samsung TV right now, you are going to kick yourself because next year's ones, hopefully, is going to have everything you need. So, they only came out with the one HDMI 2.1 port, which they did not put as the eARC port. So if you plan on upgrading to an AVR with HDMI 2.1, you get your PS5, your Xbox Series X, your crazy GTX 3080 or whatever video card that's called. Well, it's not you can't get any audio back from the TV to the AVR because they didn't put the 2.1 port as the designated ARC port. If that makes sense. So thank you, Derek, for the super chat. Of course, Rob E. Thank you, buddy.
Always man, showing the love.
Our low budget sponsor, Optimus Vader. Thank you for the super chat as well.
Yeah. So Rob E, don't go into that Discord. You might see some stuff in there you can't unsee.
That's funny.
Thanks to Rob E. But that rhymes.
But yeah, like so you guys got to be careful. And a lot of people are like, oh well, I need to buy the Samsung for this gaming console. And what did Dolby announce last week? In-game Dolby Vision. So if you have a Samsung, that totally cuts out Samsung TVs from the Xbox Series X altogether. So if you went ahead and jumped the gun and bought a Samsung, it's technically already obsolete. Can you believe that?
You're just a Samsung. I'm gonna make a whole channel dedicated to bashing your channel.
I need sunglasses. I'll be hater C. But it's pretty messed up, and Vizio kind of messed up on their HDMI 2.1 implementation on their new gaming OLED, specifically marketed as a gaming OLED, and they only put 2 ports, one of which is not the ARC port. So it's kind of one of the things. eARC on a separate HDMI, yeah, that's irrelevant. Neil says, I don't know, man. If you Mike, you guys got the PS5, right? You pre-ordered it, right? Oh, there it is. Don't you want to use all of the features in that thing?
Heck yeah, man.
Right?
120. Yeah.
It's about having all those features. If you don't now you don't have the feature because of this new thing. And it's the bottom line is, I'm not saying don't buy it. I'm just saying wait.
Yeah.
Put on the brakes.
It was gimped.
Yeah, you have no idea what's coming out. So my advice, the best advice, is just to wait. So that's one of the biggest things. And speaking of games, what's happening tomorrow, guys?
Oh, they're doing another.
It's the pre-order for the Xbox Series S and Series X.
I think they're doing the same thing for the PS5.
Oh, I hope not. Because you know what happened?
They're doing another batch. Oh, it was disastrous.
Oh, right. Amazon. They sold out in 10 seconds.
It was disastrous.
And it was just like ridiculous. And what you were talking about earlier, Joe, was that they thought a lot of bots got to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And they did.
What's
weird with the PS5 is PS5 basically, they announced, PlayStation said, hey, we're going to give you plenty of time of notification. And they didn't give us any notification on it. And then they turned around and Walmart said, oh, you think we're going to, you're going to have to wait till tomorrow to pre-order? Come on to our store right now. And so when they did that the night before, every retailer was like, oh, crap, we got to launch ours now. And so they all followed suit. And, of course, all the bots came in. And like what you're seeing here, now you've got just a ton of people buying. There was a company called...
Look at this PS5.
Yeah, I saw that one today. I actually looked at that. That's hilarious.
And there's people are trying to...
People bidding on it.
Oh, that's great.
There was like a ceramic one
awesome.
Yesterday. I was dying, and a cardboard one. But yeah, look, this is what's happening. The bots are buying like 15 or 20 of them, and they're selling them for like
they're making a couple $100 on them.
Here, this is the one.
Oh wow,
the polymer clay real ship.
What is that? Wait, scroll down. I see some little round things back there. What's up with that, man?
This is it's either a bat or a controller. I don't know.
I thought it was like the
Oh,
behind
man.
the
It'll be a
donkey's
crap,
butt or
too.
something.
Current bid is $300. Yeah, right. Oh man.
Oh, that's great, dude. That's great. That's why people tune into this.
Yeah,
They just
you
wanna
never
see
know what
stuff
you're gonna
like
get on. So yeah, so supposedly, PlayStation 5 and I guess Xbox is going to open up another, series of pre-orders. Hopefully
You got
tonight.
yours from what, GameStop or something?
Yeah, so I got the notification, or my son called GameStop the day that they, all the madness was happening, and the guy said, "Hello, this is GameStop, home of the PS5, that will be taking pre-orders tomorrow at noon." That was like his intro, and so we went over there at 8:30 in the morning. Waited till noon, and they only had 9 disc version and 3 digital versions. And so we were like number 5 and 6 out of that group.
Yeah.
There were 4 people in front of us. So
That's awesome, man. Yeah. I watched a video saying that getting a pre-order in person is probably the way to go. Here's the messed up part. Okay, so I missed the pre-order for the Oculus, right? The 256 gigabyte one. And it was what, $300, Joe, or 400?
3 and 4.
3 and 4. So I would have and you had to put up all $400, right? For it. And then like a couple days ago, so our writer, our teenager, his birthday is on the 24th. So this week, right? In 3 days. And so mom asked, him what he wanted. And he's like, "I want the new Xbox. Do you think we can get one?" And like my wife has this thing in her head. Like she's like, she was telling me, she's like, "You realize your dad's probably gonna get 1 or 2 of these for the channel, right?" You realize it's like
1 or 2.
Well, I have 3 Xbox One X's. I have one in the living room.
I have one. Thank you, by the way.
Oh yeah, I gave you one of the S's, right? So I have one in the living room, one in the bedroom, and then the travel one, right?
They don't call him Techno Dad for no reason. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's Techno Dad to us too.
So yeah. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna try and pre-order his first because he wants the white one, the $300 one. What's up, Spec of Tech? And then hopefully I'll be able to get one for the channel.
Yeah.
Or I'll just have to wait. I don't know. But my priority is getting him the Xbox first because he knows it's going to come out in November. So we'll see.
Maybe I should try to buy a PS5 and give it away on my channel.
That'd be cool. So so did you hear they're doing another one? Is that what you said?
Yeah, supposedly they're going to possibly do one tomorrow.
Right. So I was watching a video, and apparently if the resellers like Best Buy or Walmart or whatever do the same thing that they did with the PS5 to the Xbox tomorrow, Microsoft said they're cutting off the next shipment of allocations for that retailer if they let them do the pre-orders.
Like jump the gun, yeah.
Right.
Is it really? It was, yeah, it was wild.
So if you guys don't know, it's 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So depending on where you are, in the country, East Coast is going to be 11 a.m. tomorrow for the pre-orders. So make sure if you want to get it, try and get it.
And I definitely would get on early, and just kind of refresh.
And sit there and refresh the page. Yeah.
Oh,
and then
so here's an interesting thing. So my son and he's like, "Dad, you got to jump on." So we were on like 5 different websites, Target, Best Buy, Walmart, GameStop. GameStop crashed. Like the website, when you went to it, it said your IP has been blocked. And literally, I was like, "What the heck? I didn't do anything wrong." And so their website crashed, and Best Buy's website crashed. It was crazy, man. Like stuff wouldn't even load, even if you weren't looking at the PS5. If you were like legit just trying to order, if you were trying to order anything, that website came to a halt. You couldn't put something in your cart. It was just jacked up. So pretty wild, man.
I'm looking up these metas, these LS50 metas that you guys keep bringing up here.
The metas.
What's that?
Yeah, I don't know I'm going to have to read about it and see what the difference is. See some different colors. They always look cool.
Put it up on screen, bro.
Added a few features. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out which one to put up here. Because they're just like they almost like those press releases where they're just like
Oh, right.
they just send you a bunch of photos and like they don't really know about just repeating what the company's saying. But yeah, there. I'll put it up here.
So in how that relates to home theater, I'm just wondering, like, how is the the PS5 gonna, how's that gonna work with a Dolby Atmos kind of thing? Because they've got their own proprietary. Is that just gonna be for gaming, or is that gonna,
Well,
somehow
what I want to know is how is it going to be delivered? So how if it's a proprietary 3D spatial audio, how is it going to be decoded to the AVR and sent to the AVR? Because it's got to be on DTS:X or piggyback on Atmos, right? And like that's what would make sense to me because IMAX Enhanced piggybacks off of DTS:X, right? So I don't know.
We'll see.
Or do we need to upgrade our AVRs again specifically for Sony?
No, that ain't happening.
Like, go to heck.
I want to see some Kefs. I want to like review them.
Oh man, I had the bookshelf. I did not like their bass.
You don't like them?
I didn't like them for movie watching. Of course, I ran them full range, so just to test them out. And when those aluminum drivers bottom out, oh man, it's the worst sound ever.
That's fine.
What does it sound like? Like a can?
But like more tinny.
I have to read up on this.
Yeah,
gonna have to read up on that and see what's going on there. Yeah, that's all I got. I think. So I pre-ordered the Oculus 2, Oculus Quest 2.
Yep.
Just because I know Chana got the previous one, so I know that he's gonna have to get the new one if I buy it. You know what I mean? Just wanted to hurt his wallet.
Yeah.
Even though the old one's pretty much, I don't know how much different it is, but
well, it's I like the larger storage and the better what is it, resolution?
Looks so much better.
But I'm not in any rush to buy it. I'll wait till it comes out. I mean, it was a complete impulse buy.
The first time, but you kept talking about it. You loved it.
Yeah, no, it's great. I just wish there was more games that I like. Right, there's some cool adventure games, and I'm a first person shooter. Like, if I'm playing a game, I want to play Call of Duty, and I want to have some fun and stuff like that. There is one cool, it's called Elven Assassin or Elvish Assassin, and you have do the bow and arrow like this and move around.
Yeah, that looks cool, right?
That was a lot of fun. But man, there's only so much of that I can play because I forget because you got to turn around and do this and do that and
so tired.
Now the new ones are going to be wireless too, right?
What's that?
You have a thing where you can detect your hand. Yeah, it's wireless, and nice. They have some stuff where you can use just your hands without the controllers.
That wire is kind of weird, It puts some limitations on it, so I think wireless is a good move for that.
Beat Saber. So Angela, I just figured, look, if Angela and the kids have fun with it for
there you go,
a couple hours, then it's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Beat Saber.
We're not going outside as much nowadays, so if you can look around and kind of have an experience, it's worth it.
Dude, the plank game is freaky. The plank, it's just yeah, you're on a plank at the top of a tall ass building, so it's like you're try that. Blowing it's a real freak out. Your brain it's like your skin, right? I know I have skin, I can see it. If I touch it, it's here, but your brain is really sending all those impulses to you because it's just there. So your brain is filling in the gaps of right. So when you're in this virtual environment, your brain starts filling in the gaps. So when I was on the climb game, right? It's just a mountain climbing game. It's a lot of fun. You even though your feet are still you're standing still, it's kind of moving this way, that way. And then I just kind of held on to the deal and leaned back a bit. And then a little breeze came through, and then I felt wind on a cool breeze on my back. It was so weird and awesome at the same time. So your brain is really just you're in that place, and it's a trip, man. It's a trip.
Yeah, man.
It's a trip.
I think I saw somebody do that, and they put a literal plank across a swimming pool. And they had the mom put on the goggles. They brought her out by the pool, and she was walking down the plank, and it was across the pool, man. I was like, oh my
go in?
god. No, she
didn't
made
go
it.
in, though.
She was like
Okay.
tiptoeing real slow. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
the China's wife over there pointing the fan at you or what?
Angela,
Oh,
too funny.
the air. What you call it? So we have some comments about Bucart here. They have the A500, something like that. Yeah, A500. You know, so
The
they're pretty popular. Actually, I've been in contact with the owner before. He wanted me to review his initial speakers, but there was to be honest, there was a little bit of a conflict of interest there with like, other reviewers that were like working. I'm like, this is kind of a weird situation, and I don't want to be involved with that. So I don't know. That's the only reason I have not reviewed those, just because I didn't want to be involved with what was going on there. So anyway, I am interested. Other people have said lots of good things about their Bucart speakers. What else here? There was another question about where are we? Oh yeah, something about funk audio.
Yeah, saw a
Right.
couple comments on the funk. Who's got the funk? I think Speck of Tech's got the funk.
Yeah, you got those
The big old
refrigerators.
24-inch
Oh my goodness.
subwoofer. Dude, this thing is ridiculous. He showed me a picture. Now, I think part of it was just his camera, but it made it literally look like this thing was like 8 feet deep, but it wasn't. But he's got several videos on that. I just did a demo of it. Definitely go check it out, man. It's crazy. I think it's, what is it, like it may even be close to 300 pounds. I mean, it's a monster, man. I mean, it's a monster. So, but they've got DSP, so it's pretty slick. I'm wanting to say, I think I remember in one of his videos, they have an app. So that's pretty slick. You can actually dial it in that way. So pretty cool stuff, but definitely not cheap. I mean, you're talking close to 10 grand for one subwoofer.
Damn.
It's a cool name too. Funk.
Definitely. What's that?
Cool name for a
definitely.
company.
Yeah.
What else we got here?
Hey,
Hijacking the forum.
check this out, guys. Check this out. I just wanted to try and see, and look, people are already putting
100%.
Xbox Series X pre-orders up on eBay. The pre-order hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? That's so crazy.
Just to be there.
All right. Is it wrong that I was like legit tempted to put mine up there? I'm like, man, I can always just wait a couple of months till it comes out in the store and, end up getting mine for free.
Make a couple of $100 if you need to.
I mean, literally. I mean, I don't need to, but it seriously crossed my mind. I'm like, should I try to buy another one?
It's funny. Do you guys remember like they did a $60 Nintendo Entertainment System, right?
Mhm.
You had 2 controllers and they had like 100 games on there.
Okay.
And you just plug
plug and play kind of deal.
or something like that, or $80.
Yeah.
And they were just sold out in the first day, and they went for sale on eBay for like 500.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So crazy.
It happens, man.
But hey, I guess that's
You want to take some callers or no?
Yeah, man.
supply and demand, right?
So what about in the chat? You guys got some questions for us? You want to drop those in? We've also got a call in. You can give us a call. Love to kind of touch base
to you now.
Yeah. Looking at some questions over here.
I mean,
this is kind of interesting.
We are in the time of like Cedia just happened, so there shouldn't be a lot of products that were announced that nobody really knows about.
Yeah, absolutely.
They really need to get onto the HiFi Summit, that's for sure.
It's kind of an interesting question. Are gaming consoles dictating the trends for AVR companies?
I would say
kind of
yes.
interesting. Yeah.
I've always thought that AVRs are like the caboose end of the electronic spectrum. Like they are the last to change anything, because they're supposed to last so many years, but then at the same time, they make these tiny incremental upgrades every year. That's kind of
that is an interesting concept, right?
What's that?
It is interesting to think like what is driving it, or is it all moving together? So they bring out the TVs, and then they say, oh, there's no content, and then the console's like, here's the content.
Yep.
Right. Or whatever, maybe phones too. Like, hey, I can record some content. Here's some content for YouTube. You know what I mean? So it's all of it kind of working together.
Kind of. But I still believe like the AVR is just last to like adopt any of those new things because, I mean, what did Den and Marantz do? They provided everybody with one HDMI 2.1 port, and I think just as they just do it like on a like an as needed basis. Like, okay, now you guys need more than one. Let's put two on there.
Now, what about the other brands? Because I really haven't looked at a lot of the other ones. Do they have two?
Yamaha's got 3 on their
Okay.
$600.
Okay.
You know, but people want their A2080s, their $1,500, $2,000 AV receivers from Yamaha. They want those. So they're trying to figure out how many Yamaha's going to put in those ones,
Gotcha.
But yeah, and it's kind of like it brings back that whole planned obsolescence thing. They probably have a plan. They're like, okay, so next year we'll put out an AV receiver with 2 HDMI inputs. Then the following year it'll have 4, and then the following year it'll be all 7. We'll have. I don't know. I'm just obviously speculating, but that seems to be like how they roll. I would be very surprised if next year Den and Marantz like busted out 7 HDMI 2.1 inputs on their receiver because they have 7 on even their like $300 or $400 ones. So
really,
yep,
okay. Interesting.
It's crazy. What is this one? I heard the theory that there may be a shortage of full 48 gigabit per second HDMI 2.1 chipsets, which is why some TVs are 40 gigabits per second, and maybe why, possibly. That's a possibility. I haven't heard that though. Yeah. Ike said it the best. They got to sell something next year, and that's really the sad part about it. Oh man. But and if you're an early adopter, that's just one of the things you got to worry about. Like, oh crap, something better is going to come out next year. So yeah, I either got to be cool with it and just be like an awesome eBay seller and just sell off your old equipment at like a good discount so somebody buys it real quick so you can get that cash flow, get that new stuff, get that new,
or just pack it away, man. Just put it inside, then you don't have to worry about
it. You'd be surprised. Sometimes I feel like I should sell something before I buy something else, but I just buy the new thing. I don't sell the old thing.
I don't ever sell the old thing yet.
6 months later, I'm like, holy crap!
I still got
use this and use it for a different application. So
that's funny.
I have myself muted real quick. I've got some crying going on back here.
Oh, I hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
Were they watching Mulan again?
It's a normal thing over here. You know what I mean? No worries.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we want to take some calls, that'll be interesting too. I like hearing from you guys. What music have you been listening to? I posted on my Instagram this one kind of underground hip hop track from way back called Tried by 12 by East Flatbush Project. I heard it because I heard, I saw Dave Chappelle won an award, and he came up and said this funny thing. And then at the end, that song played. I'm like, I haven't heard that in a long time. Very few people out of the whole population know that song. But if you know, then you know.
If you know that you know. Here's a kind of a comment here. It says the only difference on the Marantz AV 8805 is that you get front wides or a third set of Atmos speakers. But other than that, they don't really give you the option of both. So he was replying to a comment. I was thinking he was saying that, never mind. I thought he was trying to say like the 7705 and 8805 was like kind of the same, just a little bit of difference. Everybody I've talked to said there's a huge difference in the 8805 and the like the components they put in that, the processing, but I never have heard it myself, so don't know.
Yep.
I misread that one.
Speaking of new music, I just dropped in the chat there my Tidal March 2020 new track playlist, so stuff that I've been using for demos and just for listening. If you guys want to check it out, it's in the chat.
Drop it like it's hot, China.
Dropped it, sizzling. I wish I have this.
Danger's my middle name.
I don't have like a sizzling Something sizzling.
That's funny. Yes, JM, I did. I've got a video on it on the channel if you want to check it out. Tenet. I haven't listened to the soundtrack. I did go see it in the movie theater in Dolby Cinema. So that was really cool. So
Did their subs sound better than yours?
their subs are pretty rad, dude. There's no doubt.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, when
And
you
that was the one thing that
that
was one thing that was pretty impressive. Like the bottom end of that is really.
I did talk to Optimus, and I'm like, "Hey, tell me the truth about Michael's system," because he came check it out. I'm like, "Tell me the truth. Is it good or what?" And he's like, "Nah, it's pretty whack."
Oh, good, man.
No. He
Oh,
did.
good.
No, he's like, "Yeah, dude, I think I was a little bit deaf when I got out of there."
I didn't even crank it up loud for him.
Well, yeah, I think he liked those JTRs.
Yeah. They're pretty wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Techno Dad. Yeah, it didn't post in the chat.
It didn't. Well, I did it through the daily HiFi. So
Okay, gotcha. Actually, it's right here.
yeah. All right. Cool.
There you go. Just took a little delay. Somebody was asking about it. Cool deal, man.
Yeah. If you guys want the other one, the full-on demo tracks one with all the good oldies like Hotel California and all that stuff. Here's let's see. I think it's got a bunch of demo tracks on there. All kinds of genres. Oops. Even hip hop. My wife came out while I was demoing some speakers like midway through, like an hour and a half through, and she's like, "Is this all you're gonna do?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I'm like, how else am I gonna review the speaker?" She's like, "You've been blasting music for an hour and a half." I'm like, "I know. I have another hour and a half to go. So please leave me alone." Oh, here we go.
There we go. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? What's your question? Everything. Tell us. Hello. Can you not hear us?
Joe, what happened, man?
I have the same. Hello? Hello? Can you hear us? I haven't set up the same way as I had last time. What's going on?
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh,
Man, that stinks.
he hung up.
Well, yeah,
He
because
hung
they
up on
could
us,
hear.
too.
Yo, do you want me to call you real quick to make sure it works?
Yeah.
Give him a call, Chana.
Is it just your normal phone number?
Yeah. It could be.
Or this one? Oh, what?
You know what it is? Because I could have this set up normally, but I always apply crisp to
Maybe
block
that's
out the background stuff, so I have to turn it off. Otherwise, it'd be easy. I'd normally just set up the phone. All right.
that'd be me calling.
Hello?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, see, I didn't change anything. It was on your end. What's up?
Hey, it's Ariel in San Antonio. How you guys doing?
How's it
happening,
going?
man?
What's up? Texas in the house.
Yes, sir. Hey, just wanted to talk a little bit about Mulan, since you had mentioned it. I know there was a lot of hate for the $30 on their, to watch that movie.
Sure.
And there was even a lot of hate, on the other movies that were coming out for $20. But nonetheless, I don't know if you guys know, but Mulan made like $300 million so far in domestic sales. Yeah, just ridiculous. That's just domestic sales.
Yeah.
So that's pretty ridiculous. I just wanted to say that there's definitely there's definitely a market for people that want to make that purchase, like you, Joe, yourself. Yeah, I'm all for it. If movies came out at the same time in theaters as streaming, I would definitely be a streaming kind of guy. I have my home theater set up and ready to roll, and it's definitely a lot cheaper, so it really helps out. But that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Oh, totally. What's funny is that Vudu actually does release the movies earlier for like $30. So you can get it on Vudu. And then I know Joe and I were talking about it. If you need to get popcorn or go to the bathroom, boom, pause it.
That's right.
You don't miss the movie.
You can even take a deuce and
Yeah.
come back and it's still there, you know?
Absolutely. But yeah, there was a lot of hate for all those, the price on streaming, but to me, it's well worth it. Obviously, if you have, a couple kids or, a family that wants to take to the movies, it's definitely there. You definitely have to have the experience. You have to have the home theater to feel that experience.
Yeah.
I get that, which I do. So I'm all for it. But there's definitely a market for it, as they're proving it now for streaming movies. They're proving that there's definitely a market. So why not release same day or a couple weeks later or whatever they want to do? Now that everything's kind of changing now. So the new norm is different.
I'm with you 100%. I think if the people who are complaining are like, they're like, you know what? They're watching on their phone. They're like, this is not a good experience. This is not the same. Of course it's not the same. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Get yourself a home theater system.
Now you mentioned you've got a home theater. What are you rocking at your house?
I'm doing I have ELAC bookshelves.
Nice.
And so I went that route with Marantz AV receiver, but I did the pre-outs. So I'm using a OSD.
Okay, cool.
5-channel.
How are you liking that?
Which that amplifier, that it's an H version, right? So it's the hybrid, I guess, if you want to call it. Every time, it just surprises me how hot the AV receiver gets, and then I put my hand on the OSD amp, and the amp is so cool.
Nice.
There's like no heat coming out of that.
Sure.
So great. I hope you guys do a review on that amp. I know you guys been trying to do something like that, but
we've got good connections with Dave over at OSD and just good folks there, man. So we could definitely, some of us are going to be getting it in. I know Joe, he's always they just like have a direct ship to Joe. They can almost email that amp to him at this point.
Yeah.
We're just so close by. That's a good one.
They were going to send when they send it to me, it actually goes to Joe. Like,
exactly.
That's how crazy it is.
They're just so close. That's why. So, yeah, man. Well, thanks for calling, and I agree with you 100%. I'm glad you got your phone setup working too.
Yeah.
Me on it.
Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks.
Hey man, it's calling. Have a good night.
Later.
So here's a question for Mark T on the streaming situation. Would you rather buy disc than stream download for sound quality? Great question.
Yeah,
and
I definitely would.
I'd buy it if I like the movie. I would buy the disc. And if it's something that's demo material, I like to buy the disc and rip it and put it on my little jukebox so I can just play it anytime without having to find the disc. So that's always good too.
Yep. Optimus says he's digging the first season of Mandalorian.
Oh, what was it, Optimus? Was it Baby Yoda? Is that what got it for you? Is that why you're there? Like, my wife hated that first episode, but as soon as she saw Baby Yoda, she's like, "Oh, are we gonna watch more?" And I'm like, "Well, you don't want to, but that's about the which one we saw all of the new Disney like content, the C show and the morning show, and we like the morning. I like the morning show, the one with Steve Carell and Jennifer Aniston and what's her name? The Sweet Home Alabama girl, Reese Witherspoon. Yeah, that show. We thought that one was pretty good. A lot of dialogue though. So
a lot of folks saying disc definitely for the win.
Yep.
So
is it just because of the better image quality?
Yeah.
Is that mainly it?
And audio. You get the uncompressed audio.
Yeah. They're just not quite, and it's weird because you would think that and maybe it's a cost factor. I don't know. But people have the bandwidth, to be able to handle it now. So,
well, they're trying to put in a new codec, right? H.266.
Okay.
So that's how, they were going to plan on doing like an 8K stream, was to compress 8K content with H.266. But, who's making 8K content? I know MKBHD is, but
yeah.
Yeah, it's just H.265 already makes computers cry. You know,
Yeah.
unless you have like hardware support, you can have a pretty new computer and go ahead and try to edit like, you know, some new GoPro footage and
GoPro, yeah. I know I had to upgrade my
Oh yeah,
graphics
that's you
card
just
because of that. Like
Yeah.
literally. I'm like, man, I
So-
can't even do this. I had to buy a new graphics card.
so it can be done. Like they, you know, so our cameras, you know, our high end cameras can record ProRes a lot of times. Like I know Chana, you might record in ProRes with your Atmos. What do you call it?
yeah, Adam.
Atmos Ninja.
Yep.
Atmos Ninja, and then so I record that. And if you record an H.265, it's almost indistinguishable. It's hard to tell the difference between the two, uncompressed versus H.265. But like the compression is so crazy, you need something like dedicated hardware in order to decode it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, Kanga says, I guess he's talking about that subwoofer from earlier. He says funk compression. So I don't know.
Funk compression. Yeah. Yeah.
8K is not useless. Let's talk about that.
8K is not useless. Yeah. I mean, there's a definite step up, right? However, like for YouTube, let's say, what is that, Joe? The Canon C500? Is that the 6K version?
I don't know. There's a couple.
So like if you guys didn't know, like 4K, you know, that's on YouTube a lot. 8K, there's a lot of that. But there's not enough 6K, and that's because YouTube doesn't support it. So you literally have to jump from 4K to 8K. And a lot of the times it's going to be YouTube. And there's only been one movie that I know of, one movie that was shot in 6K. And that's the highest I've seen. An actual film movie with like Brad Pitt and, you know, movie. It's called Allied. So if any of you guys have an 8K TV, I know it's probably not a whole lot of you because they're super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Buy that movie. Or I know, no. Buy it. Because the 3D pop and depth in that is nuts on my 4K OLED. If any of you guys have an 8K OLED, buy it and play it because that is going to look so good. But other than that, I don't really know what else you can you can buy or watch other than YouTube.
So with 8K or with 4K, you've got basically 4 1080p dimensions, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
So is 8K 4K displays?
Yeah.
Stacked?
It's like 4 times the
Man,
resolution. It's nuts. Let's 8K resolution.
I just assumed that would be the logic there.
Here's like here's some of the my thoughts on 8K, right? So I've had the 5K iMac Retina, right? If I played some content that was 4K, it wasn't a difference from 4K to 5K, not anything like, oh man, look at how much more detail that was. And I'm sitting right next to the screen, right? To the point where it's like pretty much filling my peripheral vision. So at what point, when do we need 8K? Like what size does that screen have to be and how close do you have to be in order to resolve that? And if it's better, then why not go 16K or, you know, why not just go to 100K? At what point is it unnecessary? In my opinion, you know, I think 4K, maybe 6K would be, I don't know. Has anybody done that test? Like what can your eyes actually resolve and at what distance and what viewing angle and all that stuff?
I think that's part of it is how close are you to it, you know? So
yeah. So
you're just like looking all around.
1080p can still look really great at a certain size from a certain distance. You know?
Oh, yeah, I got the answer.
But if you increase that and get closer, then that's where resolution kicks in.
You know when you need 8K, Chana?
When?
VR.
I'm sorry, VR porn? What?
Yeah.
Oh, my. And you thought that thing was
in movies?
Donna, you thought that was big on camera before.
Look, I just did some quick calculation. So 4K will get you 8.29 million pixels. 8K will get you 33.17 million.
So pretty much almost 4 times. Yeah. Wow.
That's huge.
Yeah. That's nuts.
That's crazy. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I mean,
Chana doesn't like screen door effect when he's watching his videos. You know what I mean? The screen door.
Clear.
He just wants it to be real.
Techno D stands for. China knows what's up. Yeah.
It might be too clear.
Yeah,
It might.
right?
Angela,
You do it.
oh, where is it? Somebody get that.
I got it.
Might be too. He's
Yeah.
seeing pimples and stuff. He's like,
Well,
I
you
don't
know,
want to see all that.
that's the funny part about any kind of like TV broadcasts now. You know, if they're in like 4K, like you see all their makeup caked on, and it's pretty bad.
Just
You know?
too much. You're not supposed to see all that.
Mm-mm.
Of course,
super-
it's going to need a super bright bulb to make 8K colors pop.
Yeah.
Especially in HDR, man.
Possibly.
Yeah.
And like I saw the 88-inch 8K OLED at a CES,
Mhm.
and it looks great with 8K content, but that's only 8K. That's specialized stuff.
Yeah.
And there was this like drone shot going through New York at nighttime, and man, you can see all the people down at the bottom of the street, you know, and it's dark and stuff, and you can still make everything out. It was like crystal clear, but I was standing like right in front of this thing,
Mhm.
you know, and of course it's what, $30,000 or something like that. Yeah.
So another, it's going to be many years before 8K is even remotely, you know, the norm.
Dr. Pimple Popper.
Oh God,
that show's disgusting, man.
No.
That's gross. You know, so if 8K, I think the point where I'm getting distracted by some of the comments. Where it's useful is like when you're looking at a screen, right? When do you need more detail than when you're looking at a screen and the text? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, at what point do you need more detail than that? I feel like an old person, like trying to defend old technology or something. But
from an editing standpoint, I can definitely see the benefit just because of the crop factor. Because I know when I was editing on 1080p, I couldn't punch in at all. Like if I wanted to zoom in and get something really close, or
that's
maybe I'm filming the back of a Marantz receiver, and I wanted to kind of zoom in on certain ports back there, the HDMI ports or whatever, it would start getting grainy and fuzzy and just soft. Versus now when I'm editing in 4K, I can definitely zoom in and still have some really good resolution. So I can see the benefit there, but it would take a monster of a computer to edit in 4K or in 8K. So,
well, you were filming in 1080,
correct.
When 4K was like you were filming in 1080 for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's why my videos look. The first videos are your worst videos. Yeah, I'm the, that was my videos, man. They were bad. You guys had all those nice, 4K footage. I'm like, oh man.
I had 1080.
My game.
I had 1080. Oh, my first video was 1080. Unboxing of the Xbox One.
But I mean, I probably I stayed on 1080 a lot longer than you guys.
Oh yeah.
What he's saying.
Yeah, as soon as I found out the iPhone 7 Plus would shoot 4K 30, I sold my DSLR and got one of those.
720. Nah, I don't want a 720, dude.
Well, here's what's interesting.
150 looks like garbage.
So
I want frame rates.
Well, see, okay, perfect.
Not on 150 inch though.
Everybody's talking about 4K 120 with this new gaming stuff, right? So I'm using the TCL R635, and I was like, okay, I'm at 4K 60. Let's go down to 1440 120 hertz. So oddly enough, not as easy as you would think. There's some random settings that you need to click off on the Xbox, otherwise it just keeps going to 4K. So once I figured it out, I was playing it and it was cool. And then when I went back to 4K 60, I was just like, no, wait, this is way better. And it wasn't because of the frame rate, it was because of the HDR. That was the resolution, yes, was there, but the HDR made so much of a difference between 1440p at 120 hertz as opposed to 4K at 60. It was the HDR that was the biggest impact from what I noticed.
So would you rank it like HDR first, followed by frame rate, then resolution? Like after a certain point, I'm not saying like go to 720.
The problem is you won't get HDR unless you're in 4K. So
I'm just saying, looking to the future, if you had to like pick from 4K and up, right? And then you had the choice of like higher frame rates, HDR, you'd probably pick HDR first.
Yeah,
As most important, like most difference,
yeah,
followed by frame rate, then
and then resolution, probably. Yeah, I think that's what I noticed. I'm actually going to make a video about it. Hopefully, you'll be able to see in the camera footage. Do side by side or whatever,
yeah.
because it was just it was noticeable. I mean, I didn't notice any screen tearing. And that's the biggest thing with the TCL supports VRR, variable refresh rate, and so there's going to be less screen tearing. You go higher frame rate, 120. I didn't notice any screen tearing, but then I don't notice any screen tearing at 4K 60 either. So, and I'm playing.
Can I ask you a tech support question after too?
Yes. Hello, this is tech support. How can I help you?
Yeah. So I was just wondering, I just got this Denon X4700H. I have a 4K pixel shifting projector, so it'll accept a 4K signal. And I remember I watched this guy Techno Dad. He's all right, but he said that you're supposed to change it to 4K enhanced in order to get all the benefit. Well, this new one says 8K enhanced also. So it's like standard 4K enhanced and 8K enhanced. What setting am I supposed to use?
Oh, very good question, Joseph. Very good. Very good. So basically, you need to turn 8K enhanced on if you have anything 4K 120 or above going into it.
Okay.
If you don't have a 4K 120 source at the very minimum, and you turn on 8K enhanced on the new Denon Marantz AVRs, you won't get a picture at all.
Really?
Yeah. So if you have 4K material, turn on 4K enhanced mode or whatever.
For the most part, I'm just going 4K enhanced most of the time.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Yeah. I talked to Phil Jones about it. And I've been waiting for my Denon and or Marantz to come in to make a video about it. Because that's what you need to do. But then again, the consoles aren't here, so how are we going to test it? How are we going to check it? We won't know.
I'm just Ike says bad guy Joe's in the house. I can't bring that character out like live. Like it just feels weird. When I'm recording and nobody's like
Nobody's here.
Silly, I could act crazy. But when I'm on the spot, it just feels funny.
I really like the way he did the measurements. He just listened.
Just listen.
Graph. that was
Angela's idea. It was Angela's to do the graph.
You got to double down on those measurements, bro.
I know.
Who's making these measurements? That's dangerous.
Danger is my middle name.
Fresh Hater J, get it right.
Oh,
yeah, man.
So speaking of Randall, he had a question here earlier. It says, at Juan Hernandez, I think it would fit on a current layered disc. So what he's referring to is right above here. Juan asked this question. He says, would an 8K full-length movie with Atmos or DTSX fit on a 4K disc, or would they have to make like a new medium for it?
I think they need to make a new one.
Yeah, I don't know if they can.
They're using a BDXL because I burn these things too. So it's a BDXL disc that holds 100 gigabytes. So either they have to make one with more layers, or what I would do if I was them, and you could only if it was, let's say it's an hour 90-minute movie, hour and a half, I would put the entire movie on that uncompressed as possible, and then give you a code to download like the special extra nonsense. I don't even watch that stuff, but
yeah,
that's because even in these 4K discs, even though like the movie's like 95 gigabytes, they still have the extras and stuff like that, and then like the director commentary or the all those different and they have like multiple languages. They got 7 or 8 languages. I think only 2 would probably be in Atmos. The rest are in 5.1 or something like that.
And we can maybe have those even at a lower resolution. Maybe the outtakes are at 4K. Don't know.
I got my glass. Hey, so look, you guys are always like saying all this positive stuff in your reviews. You know what I mean? I don't know who's paying you guys, but always saying this positive. Let me ask you a question. What are what are your least favorite speakers you've reviewed recently? Ones you didn't like. You just didn't like them. Be honest. Stop being scared.
Mine was Paradigm, but they were their entry level.
Paradigm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How long ago was that?
It wasn't recently, but yeah.
I think you just lost Kanga. I think you just lost him. He's
hey,
out.
you said don't be scared. He knows. That's why they don't send me anything else. Because I shared my honest opinion about them. They were okay. I just
man,
wasn't impressed with them.
Don't get scared, Mike.
Man,
ain't scared. Ain't scared.
Not scared of nothing. How about you, Chana? What didn't you like?
All right. So I'm sorry. So correct. What the premiere wasn't? It's been so long ago. It was like 2 years ago.
I remember you were asking me. You're like, dude, I don't really like these things.
Okay, so the Monitor S. Wow. Okay, so these are the next up from their entry level, and I still didn't like those. So I needed like.
Jada, what do you got? Speakers, or it could be anything. It doesn't have to be speakers.
Kef R300. I didn't like those bookshelves. They didn't do well in the low end compared to, and those were 1,800. I bought them for 1,300. Comparing them to the $1,000 Ultras, the SVS Ultra bookshelves, the Ultra bookshelves took them there. The Definitive Technology Demand D11s were way better than those at $1,000. So yeah, I didn't like those Kefs, and everybody's like going crazy about Kef, and I had plenty of power running to them. A Parasound amplifier. I even did a BioWire and bi-amp. Like I did 10 different ways to Sunday. I had those things connected, and I just didn't like them. Yeah. Oh, there's this remote control called Sofa Baton. They send me their like remote control. They want to get in there so Logitech isn't the only one. That remote control was a piece of crap. So it's only like $50, but they're like expect the video, and I just said no. This thing's not good. So
send it back. Actually, that brings up a good.
I still have it, but it's still crap.
Like, so if you do get a just something that's garbage, what do you do with it? I mean, do you trash the product? Do you?
You have a few options. You got a few options.
Yeah. What's your process?
What got a few options. Trader J do?
Well, he just sells it as it is. He just sells it as it is. You know what I mean? He just say, "Hey, this is no good, but I'm gonna sell it on my Patreon. If you want to buy it, it straight sucks, but go for it if you want it. It's up to you. I warned you already. You have that option, or you could just call the company and say, "Hey, this is straight garbage. Have it picked up immediately from my doorstep.
Yeah,
I don't want this in my house." You could do that. You have different options.
Yeah, fortunately, I haven't run across something that was just like it was just trash product. Like even the Paradigms, it was a good product. I didn't care for it, and it had a little bit of manufacturing kind of defect on it. And looking back, I should have reached out to Paradigm and said, "Hey, look, here's what I'm hearing." There was like some cracking when I picked up the speaker, and it was basically just a bad veneer. Is all it was. There was a gap between the MDF on the inside and the veneer on the outside. And that's something that they could have easily just shipped me a new pair, and they wouldn't have done that. But again, that was one of those I was early on, didn't know because I had never run across anything like that. And I thought I was, it was just my obligation to say it like it was, but I did it in a gentle way. I wasn't a hater, Jay, so.
Should be.
Nah, I can do it in a nice way. Like Emotiva's UMC1, I had a lot of negative to say about that. It's a great processor. It really is. It sounds great when it's working right. It just wasn't working right a lot. So
yeah, well, I have some new speakers in, and I'm not sure if I should send them back or what. It's like on the verge. It's not terrible, but they're not. There's just so much competition nowadays. You know what I mean? There's so much good stuff. You can't be mediocre is not cool. Mediocre is almost like
yeah, blow me away, man. Blow me away.
That's the problem. That's the problem right now. So I don't know. I think I've invested too much time to send it back. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
If I would have known from the beginning, then I would have probably just been like, but I'm like, I already did the B-roll for this. You know, I've been listening to them. I set them up, and now I have to just go through with it. They're just gonna have to take whatever it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a question by Randall in here. We haven't seen any good new remote products in a long time.
Yeah, true.
There is one, and I've contacted the company like 6 or 7 times. I forget. I'd have to go through my email. It's really sweet, but it's for custom installers only,
Mhm.
and you have to be like a dealer to get it. So that
I mean, are
so-
you talking like Crestron or Savant?
oh, maybe it's a Savant.
Typically, Crestron and Savant usually are CI, so they're custom integration. You know, they have the software. They don't like readily make it available to
Here, I
consumers.
think the one I'm thinking, yes, it's the Savant one here. Let me share the screen. This thing looks awesome, and I've been trying to get them to send me one for like over a year now. But this thing looks pretty slick.
I like the
Looks like a
design,
Sofa Baton to me.
Almost like it's yeah, there it is. Savant, yeah.
design
That's
of it.
it. Design, touchscreen, voice control.
It's like a
Yeah,
nice.
looks
It's
pretty good. But
rounded.
yeah, it's fine. This is the one I'm like, it started with an S.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Yeah, Savant.
So point there. But yeah. So that's your other option there, Randall.
Definitely going to run up the price. You know,
Oh,
something like Logitech's going to be inexpensive, but I mean, I've got the Elite, and it's okay. You know, I like it, but it definitely has some limitations. It's not
funny. My wife always has problems. She's always like, I tried to turn this on and it does something else. And I'm like, well, did you press the button? She gets all mad.
Yeah. And part of that, sometimes think about it. Sometimes it gets out of sync because people turn it on manually and didn't use a remote. So the remote it thinks it's still like in the on, position or the off position. And so you have to kind of resync that. There's a help menu, but
Right.
so yeah, I mean, it definitely has some limitations there, but
Or like she'll press the off button and then put the control down, and then so it doesn't get to the TV and the TV stays on.
sure.
So like those kinds of things.
So were you
Yeah.
just laughing that she was having a tough time with the remote?
No, I was just laughing because it just sounds like she's just not with it. I'm like, well, did you press the button? She's like, yeah, I'm not stupid.
She didn't get it?
She didn't get it. She didn't get it.
Oh, man.
It has the same OS. So they've come out with new remotes, but not like a new operating system.
You guys
Yeah.
have you guys seen our Instagram with a door that got broken from the sub? Because you guys were mentioning like Funk Audio and those subs. Did you see that post where the door got broken from the sub? You think that's real?
I have no idea.
Like, do you think that can happen? Michael, you have some can it break a door? Like,
No,
nah.
I don't think so. You're not even going to break your glass. Like I've got double sliding glass doors in there. You'd have to make some ridiculous. I mean, we're talking insane amount of pressure to break your glass, or especially to break a door. So
How about if it's like halfway open?
halfway
Or
open.
like is it moving it and like it's almost broken already? Like how can that happen?
I don't know. I got to go check our Instagram. You guys go follow us on Instagram. Go watch it.
Yeah. So you're saying it's not real.
I don't think
Well,
so.
thanks for the likes, everybody. Wayne, hey, this is actually comfortable though. All joking aside, to wear sunglasses.
Yeah, you're like a Casey Nice.
And I still look like I'm kind of engaged here on the camera.
Yeah, we don't even know where your eyes are looking. So
Yeah, you could be like looking at what your daughters are doing or whatever.
I'm all like this. So who's asking? Do I still like the Yamaha? Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, AS501. I really like it a lot. I'm bumping these. What are these called? Nope. Hold on. Larson 4s. These are
Larson.
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! I love these. You guys are gonna have to check these out one day. I wish they did a home theater setup. It's only 2-channel though. Sound awesome.
Ike's trying to get me to send him the 2020 Marantz. I've got him for review. I don't even get to keep that thing, man. How can I get to you?
You know, one of those things.
Hey, but it doesn't hurt to ask, you know.
Now I don't have a punchable face.
Ah,
All right.
Joe's thugging it up, man.
Follow on Instagram. All right, Matrix Joe. Yeah. Well, hey, I think we reached our time. I had a good time.
Yeah, man. Glad you guys joined us. Had a lot of folks in the chat. Appreciate all the love and support through the super chat and the stickers. Got the HiFi Summit coming up, man. Lots of things are happening. Each one of us have stuff we're reviewing. So definitely check us out.
oof. Yeah. Got a lot of fun stuff coming up. And of course, the HiFi Summit is going to be off the hook. About 1 month left. What do we have early bird pricing right now, Joe? Is that correct?
Till October, and then it's done. Yep.
It's done, son. Done. You
Yeah,
cut off.
don't come crying. Don't come crying if it's the price is up.
That's right.
Don't come asking for the previous price. You had the opportunity.
That's right.
So they're $24. 24 doll hairs. Come on
Dude,
now.
that's like 2 trips to Starbucks, man.
If
By
you
yourself.
Damn, dude. How much coffee you drink, bro?
Dude, they're
Yeah.
10 cents almost.
That's what I'm saying, dude. If I get the grande, it's like 5. How much are you drinking, dude?
I just said 2 trips. That's 2 cups of coffee. That's no.
there it is.
My math's all screwed up. Never mind. All right, my bad. Wah, wah, wah.
He buys for the family, that's why.
That's what I'm saying. How much are you getting? Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Mine's way over 24. The family's with me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this
family of like
buying
they-
Mulan, guys. You got less than buying Mulan.
Yeah, true.
You get signed up for giveaways. I know there's a question about giveaways being international. I just don't think that's possible.
Math isn't strong in Florida. No, it's just with me.
you know who signed up again like almost every single time?
Who?
People who won.
There
Yeah.
you go.
People who won last time, they're like signing up for that thing again.
Let's do it again, baby.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Take us out, Shauna. Good seeing all you guys. I really had a good time.
Yeah.
And hope you guys had a good time. But again, I had a good time, so that's all that matters.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, yes, thank you everyone for hanging out. It's the Daily Hi-Fi Podcast. We do this every Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure you subscribe to the Daily Hi-Fi YouTube channel. If you are new here, that's youtube.com/Daily Hi-Fi. On behalf of Michael and Joe, my name is Chana, and we will see you next time. Peace.
Yeah. Love you guys.